Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Live. Okay, well, welcome everyone to the regular board meeting of ALCOSAN, Allegheny County Sanitary Authority, and this is Thursday, April 28th, and we will first begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Prater, would you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Harry Reedshaw,
Here.
Mr. Jack Shea, Mr. Corey O'Connor,
Here.
Dr. Gilliam,
Present.
Representative Emily Kincaid,
Here.
Councilman Paul Klein,
Here.
Sylvia Wilson.
Here. Okay, before we proceed, we did have an executive session just held prior to this regular board meeting. No votes are taken during executive session. All right, I'm going to move on to information items that we haven't. Oh, I can do that at wish if you want me to do that now. At this point, before we move further for public comment or anything else, I would like to welcome our newest board member, Mr. Paul Klein. And we're just pleased to have him with us. And he's jumping right in here with us. And it's just so interesting to be on this board. So much that goes on, but we all do this in the great spirit of our ratepayers, and we're doing what's best for everyone. Paul, would you like to say anything at all?
Well, I'm really I'm very excited to be here, and my wife didn't quite understand that, and I said, but I mean, this is the source of all life in the region. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I really look forward to contributing in any way that I can. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. We're excited to have you. All right, did we have anyone signed up for public comment? No, we do not. All right, thank you. All right, then we're going to move right on along. We have Wwtp expansion class report. Goes along with Exhibit A, Ms. Kim Kennedy.
Thank you. Moving right along on the plant expansion construction, just under $100 million. So my next report, we will be over $100 million total, the value of the work completed to date. I would point out that the return activated sludge that is showing at 65% complete, but that is one of the projects that is slated to be completed this year. The rest of them, they've been going on for a while, but they're much longer term projects. And we will be bidding the CSO bypass and disinfection here. That'll be our next project that goes out to bid, and it will be out for bid pretty soon. If you have any questions on the cost report or any questions on any of the projects, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I'm not hearing any questions. All right, thank you, Ms. Kennedy. All right, we will move on now to item C, the report on the 2022 operating costs and revenues compared to the budget as per Exhibit B, Ms. Fantoni.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The current expenditures through the end of March is 25% of the year complete already. That's amazing. And now we're sitting here at the end of April. It's just like the year's flying by. But we had completed 25% of the year. As of that time, we had expended about 21.5% of our operating budget. And we had collected a little bit more than 25.5% of our operating revenue, our budgeted revenue. So we are operating in wonderful financial condition. If there's anyone that has any questions on that, I would be more than happy to answer them.
All right, not hearing any, so we will move on. Thank you. All right, Mr. Ken Priebus, our GROW, which for those of you who aren't familiar with GROW is Green Revitalization of Our Waterways. And then, Mr. Previs is going to talk about the funding curve.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm here to talk about the GROW funding curve. We are now in our 7th cycle of GROW. We have received various letters of interest. We will be sending out our applications to apply for GROW funding next week. Part of the GROW analysis has a funding curve. What you see on the screen is the cycle 1 funding curve. We went through many iterations when we developed GROW. We came to the conclusion that we want to reward projects that are cost effective. So we started with the metric of overflow gallon, dollars per overflow gallon. And so if a project in cycle 1 was $2, they got a 25% match. If there were 40 cents or less, they got a full 85% match. And in cycle 1, the maximum award was $1 million per project per cycle. In cycle 2, we increased the award value to $2 million per project per cycle. But what we also did was we added a category, expanding the match range from 85-25 to 85-15%. This secondary match was for stormwater reduction, for projects that may not have achieved cost-effective overflow reduction, but still removed a lot of water from the system. And this was the GROW curve for cycles 2, 3, and 4. In cycle 5, the GROW program expanded its maximum match from $2 million to $10 million per project. And when we did that, we also shifted the GROW curve slightly to encourage larger scale projects. We moved the maximum match from 40 cents to 60 cents to see if we could get more 85% projects. But on the other end of the scale, we moved it from $2 an overflow gallon to $1.80. Condensing that GROW match. We also did the same thing with the stormwater match. We changed it from 55 to 5. Now it's 20 to 5 cents. Still, we ended up getting a lot of good projects based on this new curve. We are now in cycle 7. We are 2/3 of the budget through, and we are now starting to get final reports. We're seeing where we can go now in encouraging even better cost-effective projects. One of the means to do that is to, again, shift the curve a little bit, to try to push people to get more cost-effective projects in front of us. But the other way to do that is to start putting a variable match to them. So projects that are not as cost-effective cannot receive a large match, but the most cost-effective projects can get that $10 million per project match. And this is going to apply for the primary match and also for the secondary match. Most projects will not be impacted by this maximum match, but it is something to encourage for the larger scale projects that are still out there. And that's it for this presentation. If there are any questions, be more than happy to answer.
And if you don't have any questions right now, Mr. Previs is always available to take your questions later.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item E, report of actions by the executive director and approval of construction change orders less than $30,000. Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You will find this on Exhibit C. This is a change order on the East Head Works that it was necessitated by a request to change the material of it's a damper inside of ductwork that we wanted to upgrade to aluminum, but aluminum was not available. So it's like going from regular to premium, but premium's not available. So you've got to go to ultra, which in this case is stainless. That's the change.
Are there any questions? And now into action items, and the first action item is to approve the minutes of March.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item B is to consider authorizing the payment of invoices that are in excess of $20,100 that were processed between March 15th and April 18th. And this goes according with, corresponds with Exhibit D. Ms. Williams?
Madam Chair, the invoice list has not changed. Do you have questions? We'll be pleased to respond.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item C, the motion to award the following contract number 1762, furnish and deliver hydrochloric acid to Sal Chemical Company, Inc. at the price of 0.270 per pound. The bids were received are indicated on Exhibit E. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, I know the board prefers to see more than one bidder. We don't use much of this chemical. Those who supply it tend to supply it in larger volume. The way we need to receive this in totes instead of full truckloads kind of complicates how we receive it, and this costs some not to participate in the bidding. We, as you could see previously, we awarded to Sal, so we have experience with them. And in the budget for 2022, we did anticipate the increase. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item D is a motion to authorize the preparation of specifications and advertisement for bids for the following contract. Number 1765, CCTV inspection of ALCOSAN drop shafts, and this corresponds with Exhibit F. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, pretty straightforward. We were required to inspect drop shafts within specific parameters per the consent decree. This contract will provide for that. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I heard that. I heard you saying motion carries. I heard. Item E.
Trying to be quicker on my unmuting.
Okay. Item E is a motion to approve the following change orders that exceed 30,000. There are 4, and these are items shown on Exhibit G, several Exhibit Gs. Ms. Williams, do you want to just do one at a time? You want me to read them out first, or you can just go ahead with them?
Madam Chair, I think they will be taken into the record one way or the other. We'll start with the first one for the North End facilities. Continue to encounter things that we just did not have any idea were deeply buried underground. This takes care of dealing with additional concrete that needs to be removed. Would you like to vote on that one at this point? Or if you have any
Sure.
questions?
Yes, I see him nodding head, yes. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second, they're not quick enough.
All in favor of approving E number 1?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
The next one for the East Head Works. Hard to miss it out there. Large project. Once again, unforeseen conflicts things that you just don't know until you get into the ground. Questions?
All right, no questions? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in
Harry
favor?
Harry called me out. I'm ready.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Ms. Williams, number 3.
Number 3, aeration tank diffuser replacement. This change order is necessitated by nature, not Mother Nature, Father Nature, any gender nature, but the impacts of nature. We had flooding early in the year, February. This is cleanup associated with that.
If there's no questions, may I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Number 4, Ms. Williams. This one is the electrical distribution system upgrade. A myriad of changes that were required with respect to fiber optic cable and phone cable. Questions?
All right, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second, we gave a chance.
You did.
Giving them a chance. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. We'll move on now to the next few items. I just wanted to let everyone know that items F through I were presented and discussed and recommended from the Professional Services Committee meeting that was held on April 21st. So we'll start with item F, motion to approve the following service authorizations. Number 1 is for Answer Advisory under the agreement for engineering consultant services. And 2 is Hatch for the agreement for retained engineer. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, I will point out that these 2 are services that were awarded by the board and authorized to come back with a fee. And we now have fees for both of those. Mike, if you would speak to Answer, and Kim, you can speak to Hatch.
Yes, thank you, Arletta. Madam Chair. This work for Answer Advisory is involved at the 07 Access Shaft, which is just across the river in Keys Rocks. We're proposing to replace the roof, HVAC equipment replacement. We have to upgrade the electrical system because it's a hazardous environment over there, and we have to coat the interior of the structure. This award is for construction management services. For Answer, their subs include HRV to do the coating inspection and Cosmos to do the roof inspection.
Thank you, Mike. Kim?
And the recommendation for Hatch as our retained engineer, we have 3 miscellaneous areas in the plant that need some structural engineering support. One is platforms around the main sewage pumps, just designing them, we'll build them just to get 360-degree access for maintenance. Another is, with all this activity, we're putting a lot of stress on the area above our pipe tunnels, like our personnel tunnels. And some of our records, we can't find the calculations. We just want them to be redone to make sure that we're not compromising in certain areas where we're putting big trucks on top of the tunnel right now. And then the third is we have a future project here at the plant for our solids handling facility and would like the roof looked at, because if we're going to put a contract out and work in that building, we'd like to know whether or not, to what extent. I mean, the roof is 20 years old plus. So just, it's a small, but it's just things that we need looked at to keep things moving.
Thank you. All right, I'm not hearing any questions or comments, but I have a motion to approve item F, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, item G, the motion to award the professional services to conduct construction management services on contract 1756, which is the shallow cut intercept and inspection to DLZ. And we will authorize the executive director to negotiate a fee.
Well said, Madam Chair. This is indeed an award, so we will come back with a fee just like you saw for the previous two. Mike, if you would speak to this work.
Yes, thank you, Arletta, Madam Chair. This project involves about 9 miles of interceptor sonar and televising, mostly in Lower Chartiers Creek and the Upper Allegheny shallow cut interceptors. Work was requested by the Interceptor Systems Department, and it's fairly routine. 3 firms responded to our RFP. We had 4 reviewers, myself, Mr. Prevost, Julie Spiker, and Sean McWilliams. DLZ, which is an MBE ranked the highest. They are also proposing to use a tri-state design on this project as well as Trophy Point, which is a certified veteran. So all four of us ranked the DLZ as the highest ranked firm in this selection.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item H, a motion for modification of service authorization 349 for MS Consultants to extend their work at no cost extension of the services providing during the construction for contract 1726, which is CIPP rehabilitation of portions of the Monongahela subaqueous interceptor. I said I had to say that one again, you know, that's a good word. Through the end of this year.
I have to make the motion.
Oh, Madam Chair, yes, well said. Bravo. This is a modification, as you indicated in the reading, and Mike will speak to that modification.
Thank you, Arletta, Madam Chair. This is a continuation of design services during construction. We have a $9 million interceptor lining project out near Sandcastle of the subaqueous Mon interceptor. This extension is a no-cost extension for continued design services during construction. The designer typically reviews things like liner thickness and bypass pumping requirements of the contractor. So this is a recommends extension through December 31st.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Item I is a motion for modification of service authorization 368 for Rising to perform additional services to support the human resources information system in an amount not to exceed $34,000. Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, this is a modification to the service authorization for Rising. We previously retained and awarded a contract to provide a human resources information system. In that original scope, we failed to incorporate a component to address retiree information. This modification will address that.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item J was discussed at the Green Committee meeting, which was held on March 17th. This motion is to approve Cycle 7 program guidelines in a form recommended by the Board of Directors Green Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item K, motion to accept proposals as recommended by the authority's risk manager to provide insurance coverage to ALCOSAN for the period from May 16th, 2022 to May 16th of 2023. This corresponds with Exhibit H. Ms. Williams?
Madam Chair, I would ask our risk management consultant, Mark McCall from Tucker Johnston Smelser, to speak to the renewal information. And as he is coming to unmute himself, thank him for the long-term service he has provided through multiple loss control managers here at the authority. He has been the continuity and worked some magic this time. So Magic Mark, take it away.
Thank you, Arletta. Madam Chair, members of the board, this is the third and final year of the insurance program as committed by ALCOSAN to the insurance carriers as well as the insurance brokers. In 2023, the program will be fully marketed for another 3 years. Despite the modification change that was required by Zurich, one of the primary insurance carriers, to limit their property capacity, we needed to introduce another insurance carrier. Despite that, terms and conditions from expiring to renewal remain consistent, as well as the overall premium came in under budget that was set back in September of 2021. So from an overall recommendation standpoint, we feel very confident in the insurance program to be effective May 16th of 2022 into 23.
Thank you. I'm not hearing any questions.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Item L, and the next three motions are all resolutions. The motion to adopt resolution 2022-04-01, authorizing the payment in the amount of $980,000 in relationship to ALCOSAN's condemnation of block and lot numbers 7P125, 7P23, 7P32, and 7P40 in the city of Pittsburgh, the 19th ward. Ms. Williams, or should I just go straight to Ms.?
Madam Chair, these three items are part of our property acquisition needs in support of the Clean Water Program Clean Water Plan Program implementation. I don't know if we need anything more said about that unless the solicitor would like to chime in.
We will need to do each of these ones individually.
Yes,
Rather than
yes.
combined.
yes.
Under the.
But that's
impact
the
demand.
blanket explanation. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Okay,
All right.
all right, could I have a motion to approve item L, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item M is a motion to adopt resolution 2022-04-02, authorizing the condemnation of certain portions in the city of Pittsburgh's 27th ward.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item N is a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-04-03, authorizing the condemnation of 47 tax parcels situated in the city of Pittsburgh's 23rd ward.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any new business?
Madam Chair, I would like to acknowledge the departure of County Treasurer John Weinstein from the board after a decade. I want to thank him for his service and personally thank him for the support and growth that he afforded me as an executive director. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. Thank you, John. All right, our next meeting will be May 19th. It's held earlier in May because of Memorial Day weekend, in the holiday. So if there is nothing else, could I please get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
How do you like us so far, Paul?